Hello again. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but considering the events and the amount of numbers I already have in place, I wanted to go ahead and see what I can do with this current Paris attack. As you can see here, I use my normal PCGN, which is your Pythagorean, Chaldean, Gematria numbers, and you just run that horizontally to get what I come to. I use the code universally, so I use a 5-part code. This is what I've come up with as far as matching in my database, and there's some pretty interesting ones. Of course, the big Paris thing right there, I'm going to get back to. First, I want to establish some parameters that came up with all of everything that's involved. Of course, Syria is the big thing right now, so Syria's in there. It comes up as a direct match as a bridge, which makes a lot of sense considering that forces coming in from the Mediterranean are trying to get across both Syria and Iraq to get to Iran. There's probably some biblical implications to that as well. It's always been that since Syria. It's always been a place of fighting between, Babylon and Egypt, or just name a faction. This is like centuries and millennia old. Anyway, some interesting things came up. Of course, under Paris, we had matches for Dallas, Texas, and Rome. ISIS comes up with a match for West Virginia and Charleston. And so we're setting parameters here. I haven't really looked into South Dakota yet, but I'm going to. Singapore comes up in the dates, which is pretty interesting for the 11/13/2015, which is a universal 5, comes up Singapore. And of course, it also comes up, if you leave the 11 in, it's got Zion written on it, which is kind of interesting considering we all know Israel's involved in this some way or another. Lots of biblical implications, but that's due to my database and the stuff that I research. There has been recently, people have been trying to say that Cali on the Empire State Building has something to do with this, some sort of ominous warning, but it is a direct match for Russia, and boy does that make sense, because Cali is the destroyer, and the United States keeps poking sticks at Cali now, doesn't it? Terrorist comes up with South Carolina and Germany, both important there. Refugee, for some reason, it's a direct match for Lord, and I don't know exactly where to go with that yet, but it does pull up Philadelphia. That amalgam Virgo on the bottom there is an interesting read. It's about policy on terrorism, according to the government, and I left the links down there if you want to check them out. Let's see, of course, false flag is a direct match for diamond, and I'm sure that has something, there's something to that too that I haven't really figured out, but Fukushima does fall under that, as well as scapegoat, so that makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. Anyway, that was a sidetrack. Now, of course, we've got all of these guys involved as well, and I'll tell you why Los Angeles in a while. But Turkey is a direct match for Los Angeles, so that kind of puts that in there. Israel is kind of standing off by his own, but I would suggest looking up Serial on Wikipedia, and here's the link there. Oh, South Carolina's in here too. Okay, so, but definitely look up Serial, because Serial is just another spelling for cereal, which comes up under ISIS. Now, back to this Paris thing. It comes up as a direct match to the golden mean, and of course I get this wise, cracky idea. Let's see, what can we do with that? Well, let's see. What I did here is I centered 8 spirals from the Fibonacci. I directly copied the Fibonacci, made it to the scale of the map, and put it on the map. Well, let's take a look and see what we got going on here. I want you to take note. This is a time zone map, so I set everything to the meridian when I set this up. So the meridian just happens to go just a little bit past Paris there. So what I did is I set this whole thing to just a little bit past Paris there to make it match. And as it spins out, you have Germany, you have Rome, you have Syria, you have Singapore, you have the Charleston, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Philadelphia, Dallas, and Los Angeles, all landing on these lines, from Paris being the golden mean. Well, this is what I've gotten so far. I'm going to set it down for a while and continue to listen to the information that's out there. If you got any questions, go ahead and just chat me up or whatever. Hopefully this can at least maybe open some minds of new thought that perhaps you might see something that I don't see. But good luck with this, and peace and love to the world.